Sit alert and look at yourself. As I look at myself, I am very familiar with the physical dimension, the body, and I am also familiar very much with the psychological dimension, namely the mind. But I am not at all familiar, or maybe I am not that much familiar with the spiritual dimension, the inner light. Why? Because I am identifying with what I am familiar with, as I identify with the physical and psychological dimensions. I live with the idea that I am only that much, the physical and psychological. And the spiritual remains entirely covered because of identification. One has to contemplate upon this feature of life. In order to break this identification, no physical work or effort is needed, but only I have to abide as the witness to the body-mind. As I start witnessing the body-mind, still the body-mind occupy the most of the focus, most of attention. But you also have to be attentive of that inner light. In which the body-mind come to light. This is the game of meditation, in which the focus shifts from the body-mind to the inner light. And I remain aware of the body-mind. Without identification. In particular, you should pay attention to the states of the mind, ever-changing states of the mind, pleasure and pain, without identifying. And also, you should pay attention to the variety of ideas and beliefs that the mind holds on to, again without identification. For example, when you notice the mind is pleasant, you have to step back and watch the pleasant state of mind. And tell yourself, this also will pass. When the mind becomes sorrowful, again step back. Externalize the sorrow. Try. Don't ask how, just to try. Be aware of the sorrow. That is how you externalize the sorrow. And tell yourself, this also will pass. Then the ideas of the mind, like the ideas about the world and ideas about God, ideas about culture, etc., about caste, creed, etc., you have to tell yourself, these are ideas, not my ideas, just ideas in the mind, put there by the family and the society. Ideas are ideas. They can be there, but not my ideas. I am beyond all ideas. Then when it comes to the body, if body gets into a problem, which is possible, you have to tell yourself, it is not my concern. It is the concern of the mind. Mind gets concerned about the welfare of the body, and mind thinks of an action. It is entirely between the body and the mind. I am not in it. I step back. And allow the mind to work on the condition of the body. Do the needful. You have to tell yourself that any problem of the body is between the body and the mind. Things happen and I am aware. This is how the spiritual dimension comes into the focus. Chinmayoham. The spiritual dimension is that inner light of awareness, and I am that light. Chinmayoham. You can take this as a mantra to remind yourself. Chinmayoham. Chinmayoham. Oh. Sit at ease. And open the eyes slowly. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Shruti Smriti Purananamayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Niṣidhya Sakalopādhīn netīti vākyataḥ vidyādaikyaṃ mahāvākyairjīvātmaparamātmanoḥ. Two lines, two messages. The first one is the negation. Sakala upadhīn niṣidhya. Take help of the vakya. Netīti vākyataḥ. Again, you should not get stuck at the level of the vakya. You have all the vakyas. Vakya is a statement. You have all the vakyas, but no wisdom. That is useless. So vakya is there, you hear it, you listen to it, and go beyond verbal expression. Okay? You have to do that. How? Don't ask how, you have to do it. Suppose somebody says, here is coffee for you. Okay? Now you hear a vakya, know its meaning. Will you go beyond the verbal expression or not? You go beyond the verbal expression, or just leave it at that. he said that there is coffee for you, I understand its meaning, and you stop there? No, you don't stop there. You go beyond the verbal expression. Means that is something that you have to take it in. And so you move in that direction. You just don't get at the level of the Vakya only. I have to say this because that is how the Vedanta runs in the world. It is all at the level of the Vakya. That's why people, they do not move beyond the verbal expression. You can see that contradiction. Like you say, Aham Brahmasmi, for 1 hour you talk about Aham Brahmasmi, and come out of the chair and go into the place and start a puja which is based on dualism. If the puja inspires you towards Advaita, that is fine. If the puja is the upasana that takes you into the vision of oneness, that is fine. But if puja is very physical, there is no involvement of any feeling in it, very physical, the physical originates from the thought, you should know that. Therefore, even while you are acting physically, there is the thought behind it, but no feeling. And what is the feeling that person has? People have feelings. What is the feeling? I am small, I am limited, God is other. And then a variety of beliefs associated with that God. That God is Shiva, this God is Vishnu, this God is married to that lady, that God is married to another lady. All those beliefs, you hold on to them. That means you have said Aham Brahmasmi, you have listened to, you have understood the expression, but that did not go into the inner heart. It remained at the expression level. That way it should not happen. The Vakya is always meant to inspire you. The Vakya is not meant to listen, know, and store. Or forget. Whatever you store, you will forget also. Generally, when you attend a class, you listen, understand, listen, know, and store. It will be there in your storage for an hour till the class is over. Once the class is over, you go out and take a cup of coffee. What all Vakyas are told in the class are also gone. But some Vakyas are repeated again and again, they will stay. It is all the game of the memory. And the game goes on. That Vakya has no value. That Vakya has to inspire you. That is the only word I can think of. The Vakya should inspire you. And this is discussed in good detail in Drigdrishya Viveka, where the Vakya inspires you and takes you to a consciousness that is called Samadhi. So, that is how the Vakya inspires. And so, use the Vakya neti, netīti vākyataḥ. This I am not. Na iti idam na aham. Aham comes. This I am not. This I am not. Suppose you see sorrow. You see it, it is in the mind. First you have to externalize it. So here is the sorrow in the mind. That you have to do. Then the Vakya. Idam aham na. This sorrow, I am not. I am just aware of it. The sorrow will pass. The advantage is you have to tell yourself and remain in that vision or in that feeling that this I am not. You need not be like that whole day. It will pass. The sorrow will pass. But you should be able to, you should allow the pleasure also to pass. If you want to cling to the pleasure, you have lost the game. You will not be able to get rid of sorrow. You will have both. Therefore, externalize both pleasure and pain. Don't succumb to the events of pleasure. birthday, you succumb to it and make it an event of pleasure. Then next day credit card problem will be there because you have wasted a lot of money on birthday. Therefore, that doesn't work. You should rise above the opposite, both. Netīti. This is how you should allow the Vakya to inspire you. Inspire for what? Inspire for negating, for dismissing the identification with the non-self. What you are not, you should not take it upon your head. It is like you are walking, you see some dust, put it on your head, you don't do that. Like an elephant. It is called kunjara shaucham. The elephant comes across some dust, it puts it on its head. You don't do that. Similarly, an event happens which creates sorrow in the mind. Why the event should create sorrow in the mind? Because somehow the mind has some structure, some ideas, because of which the event becomes a pleasant sensation in the mind. Like I like our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, and I read that he is most popular person in the news, and therefore mind gains pleasant sensation. That is how it happens. Only for me it happens. It doesn't happen to somebody else. For somebody else it becomes a sorrow. Okay? Therefore mind has a structure. It is called conditioning. Mind has a conditioning already in place. And because of that conditioning, the event is translated as pleasant sensation. Or the event is translated as a painful sensation. Once I was sitting near Manikarnika Ghat in Kashi, Varanasi. I was going to just see it. And it is a narrow lane. And on the portico of the house, very small, narrow portico again, one person he keeps a tea shop. He called me, Maharaj, chai pi ke chalo. I was a very smiling elderly person. He was looking for a customer, nothing more. So Maharaj customer means useful, could be useful customer. Some Maharaj may drink and may not pay also. But some Maharaj may pay for 10 cups of coffee. It is possible. First invite. So I obliged him and went there. He made me sit comfortably in that narrow portico only and gave me a nice cup of Maharaj go coffee pilao. So a nice cup of coffee. Then while I am sitting there, one dead body is going. They are carrying dead body. Ram Naam Satya Hai, Ram Naam Satya Hai, like that they say. And they are going a small procession from 10 people. 4 carry and 10 people. That itself is big in that narrow lane. I am drinking my coffee. I saw the dead body. What does it matter to me? I am drinking my coffee. So I did not become sorrowful. Just by looking at dead body, you don't become sorrowful, you know. Become neutral, nothing particularly sorrowful. While drinking coffee, then in the procession as it is going, I recognize a person who is in that 10 people. He is following the dead body. I stopped coffee, drinking tea and called him. Hey! I called him. He looked at me and Swamiji, you are here. Yeah, why are you in this procession? Swamiji, do you know who died? I don't know. He told the name. Then I became sorrowful. And put the tea there and paid the 10 cups tea payment. I gave it to him. Need not give chiller and all that. Take it. And then I also went along with, how it happened. I was very sorrowful, this and that. Therefore, you see, the event must be connected to the conditioning of the mind. Then only it makes you sorrowful. Suppose it doesn't connect, then you are not sorrowful, somebody else is sorrowful. Therefore, this is how the sorrow and pleasant pleasure happen. There must be that conditioning in the mind. It is not you. It is there. The conditioning is there in the mind. You need not get rid of it. How can you get rid of it? You need not. It will remain there. And then sorrow happens. Now your job becomes relevant. You externalize that sorrow. Netīti, ahamidam na. That is what you have to do. Then if I am not this sorrow or this mind, a state of mind, or this body, I am not this body, I am not this state of mind, then why in the first place there is identification? That is ajnana, ignorance. You have never paid attention. That is how the child doesn't identify. As it grows, the parents learn, parents teach this identification process. They teach with the body first. The child doesn't begin with the body identification. The child is happiness. And hunger. When hungry, cries. And the rest of the time either happy or asleep. That is the child. Now the parents teach body identification. There used to be a child called Raju. They called him, hey Raju, 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 Raju. Then the child tells his mother, Mummy, Raju is hungry. Where is Raju's milk? Raju is hungry. The mother is very amused and gives food. Then after a while, he stops saying, Raju is hungry. He starts saying, I am hungry. So that is how identification happens. And we learn identification from parents. And you have to learn a non-identification from a guru. That is how it works. Okay, that is how it works. Parents and society, they teach you to identify with the body and with every state of mind. That is what they teach. In Vedanta, what you do in this verse is not learning. It is really speaking, it is unlearning. What you have learned earlier, you have to unlearn now. That is how Vedanta works. Therefore, that ignorance which parents have, it is passed on to us. This is called andha parampara. The parents were ignorant of the self. They were identifying with the body and they pass on that ignorance to the children. Along with the property, ignorance also is passed on. Property is my property. The father lives with that identification, my property, and he passes on that identification to his children. And the children divide the property among themselves. And sometimes they fight. They fight among themselves and they fight with the parents also. Why? Because of identification. Where from they got that identification? From the father they got it. Now the father complains. Oh, my children are fighting with me. Fighting for what? For the sake of property. Who taught them my property? You only taught. Why do you complain? So this is how the ignorance is coming from generation to the generation to the generation. That is how the ignorance comes. They hand over the property with a sense of my, which is ignorance. Then they hand over God also. An idol or something they worship, and they hand over and say, I worshipped as long as I could, now you worship it. This is the God. So you inherit God also? Yeah. So because identification is same everywhere, it goes to the God also. God means an idol. Whatever. Therefore, this identification is because of ignorance. Now you have to work on it. You have acquired it over a period of 30, 40, 50 years of life. Now for the rest of the life, you have to work on it and neutralize it. That you have to do. You have to do that. First eat acidic food, then add a tablet which base tablet and neutralize all that acidic food. You have to do that. Otherwise it will cause pain. So this ignorance is the cause of identification. Then I'm building a case for that one word. That with which you identify is called upadhi. That is what is. Sakalopadhin. These upadhis are not one or two. There are, I can list, you list yourself. With the body is upadhi, and along with the body, another 20 upadhis will come. Caste, creed, race, religion, region, this, that, color, ethnicity, whatnot. 20 things will come along with the body. And every one of them is an upadhi. Aham brahmanaha is an upadhi. I am sick, upadhi. Body is sick. But you identify with the body, therefore everything, all the attributes of the body become your attributes. Therefore body is the primary upadhi, along with 20 upadhis will follow. Caste, creed, etc. People don't even think that they got this caste identification because of the body. You are a caste person only when you identify with the body. Otherwise you are not. People do not think like that. They think caste is they are born with the caste. Caste is the Atma. That is the level of identification. And therefore you have caste wars. In Telugu it is called Kulala Kurukshetram. Kurukshetra is the battlefield of castes. The Kurukshetra of the caste. That is the election. Now elections are going on. Every election is a Kurukshetra of caste. And the electorate is appealed based on caste. Here also, in this country also, Hispanic vote, black vote, white vote, this Bible belt. Here it is Bible belt. In India it is cow belt. Here also. But here it is under kind of some control. Here it's a gentleman's game. They play this game, but it's a gentleman's game. The game is played in India. India is also democracy, world's biggest democracy, not only in America. India can teach America a few things about democracy. For example, in India, the transition of power is most peaceful from day one to till today. You must have seen, Indira Gandhi lost power. Morarji Desai became Prime Minister. Not one hitch, not an iota of hitch. Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister. He was defeated. Narendra Modi ji has become Prime Minister. Very smooth transition. All through the history of India, modern India, smooth transition. America was like that till the Trump came on the scene and he was defeated. And then Capitol Hill riots have happened. Till then, this transition was very smooth. But that was a blot. In India, you don't have that blot. Therefore, and in America, they take, just I am digressing, please don't mind. In America, they take a month to announce the result. In India, by now, the elections are over. Tomorrow morning, now the elections are over. 5 states big elections are over now. The elections, they start counting morning 8. And results are declared by 1 o'clock. By afternoon, 1 o'clock. By 2 o'clock, by evening, everything, all results are declared. Suppose 300 seats are there. 290 seats are declared by 2 o'clock. and some 10 seats, some hitch is there, they will be declared by evening or night. And the next day, the power transition can happen. If next day is an auspicious day, Muhurtam is also there. If for some reason the auspicious day comes after 3 days, then the power transition happens after 3 days for that reason, not for any other reason. The earlier chief minister will go and resign. The new chief minister will come and take over. Very smooth. Very smooth. These are the good points of Indian democracy. Then Indian democracy is a very messy democracy. Very messy. Appeal to the caste, religion, etc. is very intense. And very messy and very rowdyish also. Why I am saying all this? So there must be a conditioning in your mind to identify with a caste. That comes from identification with the body, which is taught by parents. Now you have to neutralize all of that. The body is the upadhi, caste, upadhi, creed, race, religion, ethnicity, region, Californian, New Yorker, they are upadhis. Are you a New Yorker? Are you a New Yorker? Is there any meaning to that? I am a New Yorker. What does it mean? What does it mean? New York is a very big state, very cold place also. What do you mean by I am a New Yorker? It is an idea, and you identify with that idea. Therefore, this is how you have to address all these upadhis. Then mind. Primarily, mind upadhis are sorrow and pleasure. That is the state of mind. Mind is sorrowful. It will be. Let it be for a while. It will be sorrowful for a while. You don't worry. The sorrow will not persist. It will change. It will go. You will be. Person is sorrowful for a while. A person is crying because the near and dear died, crying. What I did, I took a good, strong South Indian coffee and offered to the person. The person resisted. I said, no, you just follow my word. Because the person needs some persuasion. Because the condition is like that. Just while crying, take this coffee and drink, it doesn't look nice also. Therefore I persuaded. Just come here. Let them do that. You come here. So took and you drink this coffee. The person took it. And there was a smile on the person's face. Because the coffee was so good. The person was very tired. And then I said, now you go and continue crying. And the sorrow will replace therefore sorrow will pass. A cup of coffee is enough to change the sorrow to some kind of pleasantness. And after an hour it is gone. It becomes neutralized. And something else will happen in due course of time. Sorrow will pass. If you cling to it, then it won't pass. It becomes upadhi. It is my sorrow, my loss, my this, my that. That becomes upadhi. These are all mental upadhis. In and through, playing all the different roles, a question. Such as wife, mother, daughter, friend, employee, these are all upadhis. We should never lose the sight of our true nature, good. You have to negate the upadhis. How you will not lose sight of your true nature? By negating the upadhis. So, until this actually becomes effortless, are there any techniques to employ throughout the day that you may please suggest? In fact, I would recommend this question. I look at the question itself. You are saying that you are playing the role of mother, role as wife, mother, daughter, friend, employee. It's an anonymous question, which is fine. But the person is a lady, I can see that, which is fine. You say you are playing the role of wife, mother, daughter. I suggest you are not playing the role. I suggest you have got this phrase, a very convenient phrase. It makes you complacent because you feel good. I am playing the role of a mother. You are not playing the role of a mother. You are identified. And therefore you become sorrowful and pleasant alternately. And wife, are you playing the role of wife? You ask the question sincerely. Or am I identifying with the role? It is not a role anymore. Once you identify, it is not a role. It is a role only when you do not identify. This word role, it's a catchy phrase and it is a fashionable phrase also. Fashionable not among the general public, fashionable among Vedanta students. It's a fashion to say, I play the role. It sounds good. Instead of saying, I am identified, you better say, it sounds better, you know. In a Vedanta class, saying I am identified doesn't sound nice. It is ajnana. Whereas I play the role, this is a new phrase. Catchy, very catchy, and a nice sounding phrase. You examine how it happens on the stage. A person is playing the role of a beggar, and he is doing a very good job. In some of these comedies, in some of these tragedies, the person who plays the role, he plays a wonderful way, and he is doing a great job. And there are tears in the eyes of the audience. But you tell me, will the person be unhappy? The person is not unhappy. This issue need not be settled freshly. It is well settled. While playing the role, he knows all the time, as long as he is on the dais, giving his telling his dialogues, and if he forgets the dialogue, somebody will prompt from behind. You know that? There will be a prompting person sitting behind with the script. He will be saying and he hears. And then he will say. What he says, Mike catches. What the prompting person says, he only catches. But sometimes if the prompting person is too enthusiastic, even the audience catches that he is prompting. That will disturb. Therefore, he is playing the role. He is not identified. Even a wee bit he is not identified. I have seen people, I'm not talking about this person, they say this phrase, a very fashionable phrase. I told you, fashionable not in the regular world, fashionable in a Vedantic class, in a Vedantic situation. I suggest you examine this expression one more time in your case. Are you playing a role? I suggest maybe not. Therefore, don't be complacent by holding on to a phrase that you have understood correctly. Don't be complacent about it. If you are playing role, you are God bless you. But I have a doubt. Generally, once you are playing role, you will not declare it. Suppose a person played the role of a beggar. You meet him. Hello, how are you? Yes, I am doing fine. How is everything? He will not say, I now played the role of a beggar. He will not say that. But if you ask him, it looks like you have played a role just now. What was the role? He will say, I played the role of a beggar. Because the role he played means he is not clinging to it anymore. He was not clinging to it even on the dais. On the stage, he was not clinging to it. He was just playing the role and picking up the dialogue from the prompter, and he is repeating the dialogue. He doesn't mean any of that. 100% he is playing a role. And that's why he doesn't stay with him. Some of these actors played 350 cinemas, movies they have done. They don't remember all those roles. That becomes academic. Oh, that role I remembered. Because that movie has become successful, so that role I remember. They are strictly playing the role. Whereas we people, we do not play the roles. We cling to it, we identify with it. I'm not saying about father, mother, daughter, etc. I'm saying about gurus also. Gurus also do not play the role. They identify and declare themselves, I am the guru. They are not playing the role. They tell big dialogues about playing the role, but when it comes to them, they don't play the role. They identify. This ajnana is very dangerous. It doesn't spare anybody. It doesn't respect personalities. Oh, he is a great personality. Therefore, ajnana respects him and moves out. No, it doesn't move out. We respect personalities, but the ajnana, the weather, the cold, the heat, they don't respect the personalities. Therefore, I suggest you examine this role-playing thing one more time. So, you learn the vision of negation. So leave this expression role-playing, because that doesn't seem to be working, because all the time people believe that they are playing roles, but the actual situation is that they are badly identified. If not badly, more or less identified. Therefore, leave that expression alone. We do not see that in the Acharya's version, because it develops complacency. Therefore, you have to still work on these titles. They are all upadhis. What is an upadhi? It is non-self and you identify with it. That is the upadhi. Okay. So in today's class, I will finish the first line. Second line I will keep for next year. Because second line is Aham Brahmasmi. That we will begin next year, first class with the second line. Okay, please make a note of that. And second line, it requires a fresh approach. And therefore, these upadhis, you have to work on them. Don't allow any complacency to creep in. You work on these upadhis and apply neti every single time. I was saying yesterday, asangam, this negation. The entire sequence of negation I was saying from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Then arasam, rasa is there, taste. So you have to, there is a tasty item, and the taste buds like it, and mind is happy. You have to rise above that. Arasam. It is not me. It is the taste buds, the mind, the body, taste buds, the mind. That is only rasa. I ask you a question. How many rasa is taste? How many rasas did you experience till now? Countless. What happened to them? They are all gone. Whereas you remained where you remained. You never vanished. You are there. Therefore, you are the changeless. Rasa is the changeful. Don't identify with the rasa. That's why you have to look into yourself. Are you identifying with the food and its taste, etc.? I have seen it. Many people, they identify with the food, the tastes, the way the food is prepared, etc., the kind of dishes. They identify with all of that. One Mahatma was served the curry made of lady fingers. You know lady finger, the curry. Okra. Lady finger is not a good word. It can be done, okay. But it doesn't sound very nice. Okra. Okay, okra. Good. So okra curry he served. He asked, oh, we get okra in Arizona? Because in those days, yes, not everywhere, but there is one shop, Indian shop, one shop is there. There only you will get okra. Everywhere you don't get. In those days. Nowadays everything is available, but in those days. Then the Mahatma called his Shishya, Ellara, come here, take the address of the shop, make a note of it, because I like okra. Now you got the rasa has gone into identification. Don't do that mistake. It doesn't matter, finally you have to eat some curry or the other, that is okay. You leave it at that level. Don't convert it into identification. You are a rasa. I am not connected to any rasa. Then agandham. I like rose flavor. No, don't say that. But another Swami likes jasmine flavor. Arey, you are not supposed to be like that. Don't get caught in these flavors. And, so jasmine, rose, etc. No, they are not for us. You know, some of the Vaishnava acharyas, they go on enjoying these fragrances as much as some of these Hollywood, Bollywood stars, all in the name of God. At least the Hollywood, Bollywood stars don't have that kind of excuse. You can call it hypocrisy if you wish. They don't have it. They like a particular flavor, a particular fragrance, and they go for it. Whereas the Mahatma says, Shri Krishna likes jasmine flavor. Jasmine. Shri Krishna likes jasmine. Where from you got it? Did he say anywhere in Gita? No, in Gita he did not say, but in Bhagavatam he said it. So you go where he said it. Bhagavatam is written later, it has nothing to do with that. Gita you have to take standard, not every text on Shri Krishna. Bhagavatam there is 12 volumes. Only one volume is about Shri Krishna. And you forget about the other 11 volumes and hold on to that small thing. Not like that. Therefore, Shri Krishna jasmine, he did not say in Bhagavatam that he likes jasmine. You imagine. So you like jasmine and put it on Shri Krishna. Don't do this kind of a mischief. I am without any gandha. I am without rasa. Say no to rasa. This is netīti. Say no to rasa. Eat some food for the maintenance of the body. That's it. Say no to gandha. Then say no to form. Achakshushkam. Say no to forms. Somebody asked me, Swamiji, the seat under the table, how should we decorate? I said, no decoration. The mic should work well. I should be able to put my book properly. That's all. You don't put a flower vase, no. Take it out. Because they are coming in the way. I want to see the people, not the flower vase. First, you take out the flower vase. Once I went somewhere, they put big chair. I said, don't take it out. Put that chair. I'm not comfortable with that. These names and forms, people go crazy, you know. People, they go crazy. Mahatma is coming, and Mahatma likes that art. Therefore, big art is put there. Mahatma likes Akasha and birds. Therefore, some purchase one Akasha birds painting, $1,000 or $2,000, and hang it there. And Mahatma goes to the dining table, take a painting with fruits and other things and put it behind him. It should not be like that. Achakshushkam. No forms. No form. You need not put any paintings, this and that. You should become like that. There is a thing called beauty of the empty spaces. You know that? An empty space is the most beautiful thing. And also the most serviceable space it is. You can put anything there. You can put your bag, you can put a chair and sit there. You can do anything with an empty space. Therefore, empty space is the most beautiful thing. Therefore, come out of this Namarupa. People are into Namarupa very badly. They have to come out of it. Ashrotram, this music industry is not for you. That is another upadhi. The Mahatma likes Carnatic music. No. Any music enjoyable, melodious, it's okay. But no attachment. And you don't go after it. If it comes your way, you are aware of it. You need not put earplugs. That is all, only that much. Suppose somebody is singing some Carnatic song, some good song somebody is singing. You need not put earplugs. You can listen to it. But if you have choices, etc., then you are identifying. I don't like Hindustani music. That is identification. Why don't I asked that gentleman, why don't you like Hindustani music? It is all Turaka music. It is all Muslim influence. We don't like. Music is nothing to do with Muslim or Hindu or Christian. In fact, you don't go after music, first thing. You go after music and then give labels to it and develop attachment and aversion. You should not do that. Ashrotram, avak, don't talk too much. Be silent. And don't give importance to names. Not only forms you don't give importance, but also to names don't give importance. A name is enough. Any name, some name is enough. So you do not give any importance. You don't give importance to your name or any name for that matter, Namarupa. And apranam, amukham, amatram, so many things are. You do not identify with the physical strength. I am old, I am weak, don't say that. I am young, I am strong, don't say that. That kind of identification also you should not have. So, na tadashnati kinchana, na tadashnati kaschana. That mantra from Upanishad. So, I do not perform any action, I am not the doer, and no action is performed upon me, I am not the object of any action. This is like Gita says, Nayam hanti nahanyate. That is how. So you don't identify with the power, the life force, you don't identify with the life force, you don't identify with the variety of actions that are performed by the body-mind. So, nayam hanti nahanyate. So, sa esha netīti, there it comes. And that is what Sri Shankara is quoting here. And he says, agruhyo nahi gruhyate. Atma you cannot catch because it is not a thing to be caught. Ashiryaha nahi shiryate. The body shiryate. Body disintegrates. You don't say, I am disintegrating. I am old. Don't say that. The day you say I am old, you have condemned yourself. You have cursed yourself. You become old. The body becomes worse. So don't identify like that. Don't identify with age. Therefore, you see, the child, as it celebrates birthday, it doesn't remember death. Therefore, it nicely celebrates my third birthday, my fourth birthday. It nicely celebrates. Child is child. A person, my 80th birthday, how he will feel inside? Outwardly, he is saying my 80th birthday. Even while saying, he knows that he will die soon. Outwardly, he smiles, but inwardly, he must be feeling bad about it. That's why you don't identify with the body. Body has age, not you. Asango nahi sajjiyate. I am unattached. Don't declare, I am attached to my son. I am attached to my father. Don't declare like that. Because you are declaring to yourself. I am attached to my son. Suppose you say that. Now you are attached. Keep quiet. Don't identify that way. In a positive way, if you identify, then things will become worse. Don't say anything. And then you say, asangoham. That is how you have to negate all the upadhis. Niṣidhya sakalopādhīnneti netīti vākyataḥ. Okay? Vidyādaikyaṃ mahāvākyairjīvātmaparamātmanoḥ. That follows automatically. By the time you negate all the upadhis, your oneness with the real will be realized by you. That has to be seen further in the next class. Here, one or two questions. You see, in the pursuit of Vedantic study, I think I am complacent with the progress. It is, you see, in the context of Vedantic study, you have to remind yourself that you have to do again and again. It is like dieting. When you are dieting, if you have taken a vow to diet, lose some weight, suppose. Then morning you have to remind yourself, afternoon you have to remind, evening you have to remind yourself. Inside house you have to remind yourself. When you go out, you have to remind yourself. Because the food is everywhere. In our childhood, we need not remind ourselves because food was not so much available. But now you have to remind yourself every single time. Then only the dieting becomes successful. So it is not physical. It is that awareness. You can call it earnestness. If you want to lose weight, if you decided to diet, follow diet, then you should be aware of everything that is put on the plate. Everything, every single thing, you should be aware. And juices are there. If you add sugar to the juice, that juice you should not touch. And in India they sell natural juice, no sugar added. Here they must be doing the similar thing. So no sugar added. That kind of a juice you have to select. If you are dieting, you should be cautious. You don't add sugar, two packets, 3 packets into your coffee, etc. You don't add. If you are dieting, it's all right. Then you add. So you cannot be complacent. And therefore, the same thing applies to Vedanta. Asangaha, I am not attached. You tell yourself. Don't become complacent about it. Like, for example, your son has gone to the college. Leave him alone. Don't bother about him. You feel like calling him. You tell you asangoham. That is. You have to do that. You see, I followed a principle. Just I am telling for the sake of your guidance only, nothing. When I come here from India, I don't get any phone calls from India and I don't call India from here. Except in some special circumstance. Probably half a dozen calls in 3-4 months. From that side, from this side. Rest of the time, they live their life, I live my life. Yavariki vare Yamuna Tire. We are all independent and separate, so we are not attached to each other. Whereas some gurus, they will have 2 cell phones, go on dialing this, dialing that, receiving this call, sending that call, multiple phones, and then there are 2 secretaries to take calls only. That is too much attachment. Therefore, you have to tell yourself, Areyappa, I am going and I will come after 3-4 months, then I will talk with you, you keep with yourself. You have to remain Sangha. When you are a Sangha, others also will get the message. Suppose you go into Sangha, networking, then whole day you will be calling them or they will be calling you. And midnight also calls will be going on. That is the formula for disaster. Your health also will be affected. So you have to follow diet. This is the diet. Diet means the cell phone becomes a big means of attachment. You avoid. So you cannot be complacent. I am dragged into world pursuits more out of my own weakness in mind. You see, you are dragged into world pursuit because of weakness in your mind. That is not the weakness. Maybe I am confusing or not, I am not sure. What is the weakness is, you admit that you have weakness in you, therefore you are dragged into the world pursuit. That is the weakness. You admit that you have weakness, then you correct it immediately. Why don't you correct it? That is the problem, not weakness. Weakness we all have. But I recognize the weakness and correct it at once. Whereas you are saying, you know the weakness, yet you don't want to correct it, or you don't correct it. That is the problem, not the weakness. The weakness, the failure to correct the weakness is the problem, not the weakness. Weakness is not the problem. Weakness is there, human. But the failure to correct the weakness shows that you don't have earnestness. And you listen to Vedanta just for fun and entertainment, but not for earnestness, not out of earnestness. You lack earnestness. Because suppose you do not know that it is weakness, then you did not correct. That is fine. You see the hole on the road and you just put the step into it, that is wrong. Therefore, having weakness is not the problem. Having recognized the weakness, you don't want to correct it, still you want to persist with it, that is the problem. So that shows that you don't have earnestness. In Vedanta, which is Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, that is the word we use, yoga we call it, means association with the truth, that is the yoga. In yoga, there is no place for lack of earnestness. If you are not earnest, the yoga is not for you. Therefore, entertainment Vedanta is not of any value. Manoranjan Vedanta. No, that earnestness must be there. Therefore, my heart is not at peace. You mean naturally, when you are not earnest, that problem will be there. Everything appears dry and sorrow. Only because you are identifying with the world, you are going into the world. Therefore, everything appears insufficient and unsatisfactory, dry and sorrowful. It's like that. Atma is your best friend. You abide in yourself. Stay as I am. And you see that you are at peace and also you are joyous. So, to further boldly, I am at times afraid that I may not get hold of the truth and may fall again. No, don't be afraid. Be earnest. That is all I can say. Be earnest. That will take care. Very nice. Gananantva Ganapatikum Havamahe. That mantra they say. While when starting prayer, puja, they say. Do they say to control the senses? They don't say to control the senses. They say out of habit, as a custom, they say, as a routine, they say. I am assuming, you are assuming that they say for controlling the senses. They don't say for controlling the senses. In fact, they don't control the senses also. Okay? They say for other reasons. What are the other reasons? Question. The other reasons are habit, custom, routine, mechanicalness. These are the other reasons. So, dear friends, it was a nice journey of Ātmabodhaḥ with you people. Deva Durlabha, even Devatas cannot get good friends like you. And I am very much feel fulfilled. Your attention, your love for the vision, your love for Ātmabodhaḥ is something unparalleled. God bless all of you. Thank you for your courtesy. I am taken care quite well. I don't have any issue. And all comforts are in place. And so you need not do anything more for me. You have already done more than required. God bless you. Om Purnamadaḥ Purnamidam Purnamudachyate